What is a role-playing game? It is like a board game without a board, where the fundamental element is your imagination. There are two roles, a player and a game master. Players portray fictional characters who are protagonists in a story, and their goal is to give life to these characters as events unfold around them. Hello class, this is my informative speech during week 3. It is about tabletop role-playing games. They're also called pen and paper games. First off, tabletop players are not all LARPers, Satan worshippers, or losers. Then again, that part is perspective, as Amish people believe it is sinful to use electricity. I am a tabletop RPGer, and I'm really not into the live action role playing, nor do I believe that any tabletop game makes you a Satan worshiper of any sort. It's just a game to pass time. As I said before, it's like a board game without the board, or reading a book with a group of people. I also know a wide variety of people who play a game like this. Sports people, families, college buddies, just a group of friends enjoying a good time. I personally play with a lot of my family members. It's kind of a family tradition to just kind of keep the world going. Now, there are several types of tabletop games, such as Star Wars, Robotech, Mage, Werewolf, Dungeons & Dragons, Pathfinder, and Anima. All of them have their differences, such as rules, statistics, worlds, abilities, and dice systems, but they have similarities as well. The main focus of the game is enjoyment for the group. Other similarities are ability scores, or numbers that represent your character's strengths. For example, someone's perception or lifting capabilities, as well as swimming and aiming abilities. They also normally have race and class-based systems, which grant initial benefits to the character due to heritage and background. I will be discussing the last 3 of these games I mentioned, Dungeons & Dragons, or D&D for short, Pathfinder, and Anima. Now, D&D was the very first tabletop game to come out back in 1974. Since then, it has had several revisions, such as Advanced D&D, 2.0 D&D, all the way up to 4.0 D&D. There's also another one in the works, and each revision has changed major parts of the game as well. It also has several published worlds. For example, of a published world would be Faerun, Dark Sun, and Eberron. But D&D does have the ability to let game masters make their own worlds as well. Now, Pathfinder came out between 3.5 D&D and 4.0 D&D. Many fans did not like the changes made between the two D&D games. They were basically two different games, completely different systems. So to continue the 3.5 D&D system, Pathfinder was made to work off of and improve the 3.5 without being directly related due to copyright. Wizards of the Coast owns Dungeons & Dragons, but Pathfinder is owned by Paizo. These two games are pretty basic and new player friendly. In their system, you roll a die depending on your ability and add a modifier. Your final number determines your success or failure or outcome. Now, the final one I mentioned, Anima, is a more advanced role-playing system, as well as a dark fantasy world. In it, you roll a percentile, which results between 1 and 100, or a 10 side, which results between 1 and 10. In the other system, in Pathfinder and D&D, this is called a D20 system. You primarily use a D20, but you do use a D12, 10, 8, 6, and 4. Those are normally for damage, as well as the percentile, which is used for random factors. Now, Anima is published by Fantasy Flight Games. It is very interesting because of the character creation. In Pathfinder and D&D, characters are more tree-based, the classes start in similar areas and grow different as they level. For example, a fighter is very similar to another fighter until enough time has passed to really see the difference. In Anima, you have what I refer to as a web build. You gain points as you level, and you spend these points in different areas. If you wanted to wield a weapon better, you simply spend the points and you're better. So, as you see, characters are more diverse. Even if two players were to play the same class at the same level, they're going to be statistically different, not just visually. Also, Anima is a dark fantasy. Magic is hunted, and things are more over the top, such as in Dragon Age or Game of Thrones. In D&D and Pathfinder, it's more lighthearted. Magic is more commonplace, and good tends to beat evil most of the time. So, in this speech, all I wished was to just put some of the stereotypes to rest. Show people that these games are just that, games. Played by all types of people to pass time, and give a few examples of these types of games, as well as my own personal experience. I hope now you have a better understanding and perhaps are a little curious about these games. And I will include links in the details below where you can find more information about them. So thank you for your time, and I hope you have a